ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to another episode of Pop Culture Junkies. Let's talk about Denver Fan Expo 2022. So I know I'm a few weeks late, guys. I apologize. So Fan Expo was the weekend of July 4th. It's now 2 weeks later and I'm getting to record this episode finally. But I got a lot of updates for you at the show. First and foremost, yes, we did get the X-Men #1 to Jim Lee. It got signed. It's out for grading. Remember to hit that like and subscribe and you're entered in the drawing. When it gets back here, everyone that's a subscriber on the day it gets back is entered in the drawing to win an X-Men #1 gatefold cover, e-cover, signed by Jim Lee, CGC graded. I'm not sure what the grade will come out to be. That book came out of Chris's PC. It's also going to have that shiny Jim Lee sig on it. So whatever it is, A, it's free, B, it's Jim Lee, 3, it's on his most iconic cover of all time. So hopefully whatever grade it is, it's worth it to you. So Fan Expo was great. Let's start off with that. They had a great comic lineup this year. I want to give them props for that. I know I gave them a real hard time with their fall show that you did that special edition last year. They did throw it together just to kind of do something for the community, which I appreciate, but it also didn't have as much comic content as I would have hoped. This year, Fan Expo, the actual dealers, well, there's a very small contingent of the con. If I had to give it one criticism, it would be that. But it's also getting harder and harder to make your money at a con as a dealer. That's just the truth, guys. We're probably looking at a change in the culture where you see a lot less dealers there. The other thing that I noticed from dealers, if you're a dealer out there, please take note. If I can get it on eBay for the same price, why am I buying it from you here at this con? Like, I could buy it any day on eBay for that. When you show up at the convention, like, I'm looking for a deal and you're looking to sell a book. So make me a deal on a book. Don't make me the deal that 100 other people are making on eBay right now. Like, I could just go pay that. What are you giving me in the interim? I get to hold it in my hands and look at it. That's nice. But I also have buyer protection on eBay, and I don't have that with you at a convention. I don't have any buyer protection. When I buy a book on eBay and it gets sent to my house and it turns out there's a big old crease in my Ultimate Fallout that was polybagged, guess what? I can get buyer protection and get a return for this item. Like, I don't get that from you. So like, you need to give me something for the advantage of being there, right? I'm not asking you to sell me stuff at half off or anything like that, but like, make a deal. Like, throw together a 3-book package and take off $100 off a $1,500 purchase or some shit. I don't know. Make it attractive, dude. So yeah, a lot less comic dealers, but a lot more comic guests, it felt like, than normal, which was awesome. First day, I'm just gonna kind of give you guys a rundown. Day 1, headed over to see Francis Yu to see if he was doing sketches, and the answer from him and the guy I'm assuming was his manager was he doesn't know yet. You have to talk him into it. At that point, I was like, fuck that. That's not how this transaction works. I'm giving you money to do the sketch. I'm not doing a song and dance on top of it. On top of that, you were charging more than everyone else at the table. I get it. You're a big name, big X-Men artist. Don't make me do a song and dance on top of it. So I took my money and went elsewhere, man. Chris really wanted a sketch from him. He came back later the next day and he was doing sketches. So Chris will show it to you when that gets back from CGC. But I'm not playing that bullshit game. If you're at a convention, feel free to say no. Feel free to even say I'm thinking about it or whatever. When you pulled out the you got to convince him bullshit, I don't got time for that. I'm heading down to Ryan Otley's table, which probably doesn't mean anything to Francis Yu, right? Like, he probably got all the money he could from sketches and whatever that weekend. I did go hit up Ryan Otley's table next, and I did pay for a Hulk sketch. It is one of the few items I actually have a picture of. It went direct from his table to CGC. Stopped by Chad Harden's booth. Chad is always at Denver Fan Expo. I don't know if he lives locally or close, like Arizona or something, but he's always there, and he's a super cool cat, man. Chad has a whole list of different style sketches he'll do at the show, and different like color, bust, full figure, etc. Of all the creators I've had to work with getting a sketch at a show, I think Chad Harden was by far the easiest. And it wasn't even for me, it was for Chris. Like, I had a bunch of other people. I've gotten some stuff from Chad in the past, so I was holding off on this year, and I almost went back and got another one from him, but I just got too caught up in everything else that was going on. But I do want to give Chad Harden a huge shout out. You can see his site linked below. Hit him up. He does great work, guys. He's done great work in the comics. Huge influence on Harley. Next, I went down Artistro. So One of the things I discovered, there was this Kirby's art group, and I didn't quite understand what was going on with them. Turns out there's a lady named Kirby, Annabelle Kirby, founded this company that I think she represents artists and their art. They sell a lot of original art from a lot of artists. Her company was there at the show. More importantly, I didn't realize that the lady I was talking to, literally taking my cash, was actually Annabelle Kirby at the show, which is pretty impressive, to say the least, that she was there in person. So one of the big reasons that Fan Expo had such a great lineup this year was because of Kirby's comic art. So I want to give a huge shout out to those guys. I want to tell you, go check out their website. They have a ton of content from creators, guys. A ton of original art, a ton of signed pieces, prints, all kinds of shit from a ton of great artists. I can't even list to you the total name of artists that they have. I'm just going to tell you it was at Fan Expo. Seth Adams, Simone DeMeo, David Mack, Guillaume Martinez, Francisco Mobili, Tomi More, Zu Orzu, Casey Parsons, Ruan, and Chris Sheehan were all there. They were all fantastic. Kirby's art also sends anything for grading that you get done at shows where they're at, like that, at least at these Fan Expos they did. It's a guy named Ricky, man, I forgot his name. So yeah, it's a guy named Ricky Beans. He's the CGC rep who witnesses all the signatures that they do. They take the books right there from you and they send them off for grading. A lot of times I think what they do is they get the order for the sketches that you want and whatnot. They have the artist sketch it, Ricky witnesses it, and then they ship it off. Like a lot of the work I got done from them, I didn't even get to see. When I first see it again, I'm going to film that whole box opening. You'll see what I see. The moment together, we'll both be surprised. I know what I asked for, but that's always up to artist interpretation. So we'll see what happens. So great crew. They were great at facilitating things. They are cash only when you see them, so keep that in mind. I had to keep running back to the ATM the first day. Make sure you have your cash on hand when you go see Kirby's comic art. So to start with, I went to see David Mack. Super cool dude. My wife bought a print from him. I actually didn't have change. It was like $15 instead of $20 or something. Something happened. And he was taking cash, but the person working for him there also wasn't right there to get change. And I just said, keep it, man. I'll pay you the extra $10 off of that 30 or whatever. Like, you've given me so much great art through the years. I would pay more for this one piece. And then he just pulled out more stuff from his portfolio to give my wife. Was awesome guy. I did get a Wonder Woman black and gold signed by him and sent off to CGC. It's such a fantastic cover. Again, you can see it up here. You will see the actual graded one when I get it back. And then for my PC, took my Something Is Killing the Children, number 1 through 5 by David Mack there. Had those all signed. He was actually doing commissions and I didn't realize it. And my one regret is that I didn't get something commissioned from David Mack there. Next, I went down the row and I met Simone DeMeo and I had him sign We Only Find Them When They're Dead, number 1. Future State Gotham, number 1. And was it 1 and 2? It was a connectable cover. You'll see it up here. Actually had him do remarks of those. I just told him do a Harley and a punchline, however you want to do them, man. You're the man. And then I purchased a full-on sketch cover of Thanos. And I'm pretty sure, I'm trying to remember the exact one I bought. I think I did the figure though, so I think it's about from like the knees or the waist up versus just the face. Love his art. It's so dynamic. It's got this weird like almost animation vibe to it, and just the colors he uses is, I love everything about the art that he puts together. I would highly recommend, again, like, you have the opportunity to meet these artists at this show and they put together this great lineup, and they're really accommodating to us as fans, so they make everything easy. So if you have a chance, check out Kirby's comic art when you see him. Next up, I saw Zu Orzu. Chris bought a commission from her. I can't remember what it was exactly. Then I saw Ruan. I didn't even realize he was going to be there until I was looking at stuff the second night to see who else was affiliated with this Kirby's comic art group. And so when I saw that he was there, I was like, oh man, I got to get this Electra cover. I got to get a sketch. So he's going to do a sketch for me on Giant Size X-Men number 1 blank. He's going to do a sketch of Jubilee. I was trying to think of a good iconic X-woman face to recognize. Like, Jean's not always easy to recognize unless she has the Marvel Girl headpiece. But I thought like 80s Jubilee with her big glasses, blowing bubble gum, like the hoop earrings, it'll be easy to see Jubilee on there. So super excited for that. I wanted to buy so many more things. By this time, it was day 2, and my budget was running a little tight. Like, you start buying all these sketches and remarks, and it starts adding up, guys. It's not a joke. Last but not least, I went to see Chris Sheehan, artist on House of Slaughter, and gave him a House of Slaughter blank. He's gonna do a sketch of Erica Slaughter for me. Again, don't have a picture of it yet, but once I get it, you will be the first to see it with me when I open the box. All in all, a pretty monumental, fantastic trip to Comic-Con as far as seeing artists. All in all, a pretty well put together con. I will say that the cosplay portion was a little weird. There was a cosplay alley on one side of the hall, and the cosplay red carpet was all the way on the other. That makes zero fucking sense, guys. Nobody, when they announced the red carpet, like, I had no idea where the red carpet was. And problem number 2 with the con is the people working in the hall were like employees of the building, but didn't know shit about the program or where any of the events were actually at. And so when I'm asking them, when they're doing a bunch of the red carpet walks for the cosplay stuff that I wanted to get a ton of pictures of, I had no idea where it was, and I'm lost in all these crowds. I figured it's by Cosplay Alley. It's not. I'm trying to walk back through the crowd. By the time I found the red carpet, there was no more cosplay walk going on. I did try to take a lot of pictures for you guys up, but I'm also going to put it together in its own slideshow video. So if you see yourself in that video, please tag yourself in the comments. Let me know, and I'll make sure to add it to the information on the video and tag you back. Again, a lot of great cosplay there. All in all, I gotta say, a really good show. I had a great time. My wife and kids had a great time. I went all 3 days like I always do, and I always will. Clearly, I'm a comic nerd because here I am making YouTube videos about it. And so I love this culture, and I love this community, and I love events where we can come together and we can enjoy all this nerd shit together, right? Bought a few blanks when I was there, so I want to throw a quick reminder to people: when you see blanks and it's someone you're kind of even a little bit interested, just buy it, dude. You never know when it's going to come up. A lot of those sketches Chris got, he got because I carried an extra blank of something. And so I had them, so like I wasn't going to use them all, but I had them just in case. And so I think it was like 1 or 2 of those he was able to use right on the spot to get some of the stuff he wanted. But I picked up like a Wonder Woman 750 blank, Green Lantern blank, right? I'm going to get a Wonder Woman on this someday. I'm going to get Jessica on this someday. Got a Sandman Overture blank. I'm going to get Death on here by someone someday. I don't even really care about these books, but they're blanks. If you start getting into comic art and sketch covers, get these. You have them available. You never know what kind of event one of your favorite artists is going to be at. Colorado Springs Comic-Con is coming up, and I want to say, I think David Finch is there this year, and I'm definitely going to try to get a sketch on something from him. Like, it's David Finch, bro. Come on. It's crazy. The other thing about Denver Fan Expo, the last part, we talked about the Jim Lee signing in the beginning, so I want to talk about that Jim Lee process. One, Fan Expo, the line system sucked. You waited in a line, you got your ticket, you waited in this long-ass line to see Jim Lee. You go in to see Jim Lee. That part was very systematic and machined. You put your books on a white board, unbagged them, set them in front of Mr. Lee, he signed them, you took your board, and the line just kept moving. What they didn't do, because then after you finished that, you went back, took your books to another line to wait and submit them with Agents of Slab, which shout outs to Agents of Slab for being there and doing it. I appreciate that. However, what they should have done while we were waiting in that first line for 45 minutes is give us the paperwork to fill out then. That's what me and Chris ended up doing as we got closer. I said, why don't we just get that paperwork and fill it out? We're still waiting here. It's been 30 minutes and we're still like, we're not even halfway there. Let's get that paperwork and fill it out now, so when we get done and come wait in this other line, by the time we actually get to the table, we can just hand them our shit and be done with this exchange. And so that's what we did. But they should have just done that natively. They should have done that the second you walked up to get your ticket to see Jim Lee and went back to the first line. They should have handed you the CGC paperwork to start filling out. That could have been done right then. You go through the process, boom, you get your stuff signed, boom. And then if you're someone who knows their shit and you don't need to ask questions, you can hand it off to Agents of Slab. Bam, we completed our transaction. We're all on our way. No more need for another 45-minute wait in line. That could have been done better, guys. But again, I'm not hating on you for what, like, you put together a good event, and the part of getting your book signed was streamlined. It was fantastic. Got to stand in line with a dude. I totally forgot his name, but he actually bought some Jim Lee original art. It was crazy, man. It was like $200 for Jim Lee's scribble on a napkin of a Superman symbol. I can't even remember how many thousands he paid for that, a page of original art. It was crazy. It was fun. We had a good time standing in line. A bunch of comic nerds just talking Jim Lee shop, Marvel DC shop. So yeah, it was a 45-minute wait, and I'm crying about it like a baby. But what I will say is Denver Fan Expo is a great time. It's a great comic convention. Can it be improved? Yes. Is it better than no comic convention at all? Yes. Is it better than Colorado Springs Comic Con? Yes. But Colorado Springs Comic Con is getting real close, so I'm excited to see what they pull out the box this year. I'm excited to see what you might have on hand, Colorado Springs Comic Con. Don't be afraid to step your game up, boy. Yeah, Denver Fan Expo is a great time. For those of you that are on the fence about going or ever wonder about going, or even going to a convention in your own town, hometown, nearby, it's always a good time. And the only way they grow is if you show. That's the bottom line, guys. If we don't show up to these events, they're not profitable and don't make money, and they'll stop happening. So if you want to support the community, go out and support the community. Yes, go out and look for deals and everything else when you get there. I'm not saying just go throw your money away, but you know, we got to support these events. We got to support this community if we want to see it thrive and stay alive. And so for me, I love comic book shit. I'm here 24/7. Got them tattooed all over my body. Comics are my thing. It's my deal. It has been since I was little, and I love it. I hope everyone else out there had a great time at Denver Fan Expo or whatever other conventions you attended this year. I want to shout out, and I'm not saying your names because I don't want you to get flooded and I don't want you to get contacted. But there was another CGC facilitator and another CGC witness who were going around witnessing for people at that show, and I watched them walk through like 15 booths for these two little Asian dudes who was getting sketches from everybody. It was crazy, but they were just patient and helpful, and like, yeah, there's a facilitator fee or whatever that goes on there. It's like $15, so let's be real. It's good that I'm glad they did that for the community. So I want to thank you two gentlemen. I'm not going to say your name. You know who you are. Yeah, guys, it was a great show. I can't wait to show you those books. You need to hit that like, hit that subscribe. Remember, your subscription needs to be public for me to see, so that when that Jim Lee signed book gets back here, I can figure out who's winning it. Thanks for watching.